Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahmood Khan, and I'm going to be the one starting the presentation and telling you about our semester project for entrepreneurship, which is basically also a startup idea. So, first of all, I would like to tell you about my team members. So, starting with the team members, as you can see, we have Asadullah, Mehboob Rashid, Ahmed Aziz, and Mahmood Khan, which is myself. So, my part of the presentation is going to cover two key questions. What is GoGoose and why does it qualify as an innovation driven enterprise? Let's start with the basics of GoGoose. So, here's the thing in entrepreneurship, before you build anything, you need to identify a pain point, which is basically a real problem that real people are facing. And GoGoose does exactly that. The problem is this: it's 2026 and travel agencies are still running on paper. Printed documents, physical vouchers, manual document processing. Agencies are wasting thousands on printing costs, and travelers are walking around with a bundle of papers that they might lose at any point, or anything can happen to it. So GoGoose comes in as the solution. So GoGoose is basically a single digital platform that completely replaces this entire paper-based workflow. On the agency side, they upload and distribute all documents digitally, instantly, within maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And on the traveler side, everything lives on one app. And the key differentiator here is offline access. No internet connection doesn't matter. Your flights, hotels, vouchers, all are accessible from one single application right on your mobile phone. So, in entrepreneurship terms, this is a textbook example of a problem solution fit. We've identified a clear market gap and we've built a scalable product around it. Now, the big next question is Google just another app or is it something bigger? This is what I'm going to be covering in my next slide. All right, so now let's talk about why GoGoose isn't just a startup, rather than it is an innovation-driven enterprise or IDE. So an IDE by definition is a company whose growth is powered by technology and innovation at the same time, not just by hiring more people or by opening more offices. And GoGoose is what checks every single box. All right, so now let me tell you what basically makes GoGoose an innovation driven enterprise. So, first, it's entirely software based, no physical operations, no printing facilities, nothing. What this means is that as GoGoose scales, the cost doesn't scale with it at the same rate. This is what we call nonlinear scaling, and it's one of the core traits that separates an IDE from a traditional business. Second, look at the business model. GoGoose runs on a B2B and B2C model, where agencies are the paying customers, they subscribe to our platform, and but when an agency signs up, their entire traveler base gets onboarded automatically. So GoGoose is growing its user base without spending anything extra on customer acquisition. That's the network effect in action. And third, my personal favorite, the EcoScore system. This is GoGoose's main feature that tracks the carbon footprint of every trip and compares it against what the paper alternative would have produced. For corporate clients who have ESG reporting requirements, this is a massive unique value proposition that no competitor is currently offering. So let me tell you more about why GoGoose is an IDE. Now, some of the innovation highlights that I would like to talk about is process innovation, which means that it eliminates all the paper from travel documentation. Now, the second one is business model innovation, where agencies pay for the software as a service and then travelers use the free application. Now, the third point is data innovation. EcoScore provides measurable ESG value for corporate clients. Now, the market Now, the total addressable market that we've analyzed from this is that in the Europe travel agency market, they generate around 320 billion euros annually. Now, the addressable that we're aiming for is 50,000 plus agencies in Europe. And in this slide, we've covered the step four from the MIT's 24 step framework, which is basically total addressable market. Now, when we apply the MIT Discipline Entrepreneurship Framework, GoGoose demonstrates process innovation, business model innovation, and data innovation all at once. That's what makes it a true innovation driven enterprise. And with that, I'll hand it over to the next section for presentation.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Asadullah, and in this part of presentation I will explain who exactly we are building GoGoose for. Because according to MIT Discipline Entrepreneurship, a startup cannot truly scale unless it first identifies a very clear and specific customer segment. Who is our customer? One of the biggest mistake startup makes is defining their customer too broadly. If I say our customer is everyone who travels, that sounds attractive, but according to MIT Disciplined Entrepreneurship, that is not a strategy. MIT teaches one very important principle: start narrow, dominate a niche, then expand. And that is exactly what GoGo's is doing. At GoGo's, we operate on a B2 B2C model. Our first customer is the travel agency. These are the paying customers. They purchase the subscription and manage their travel operations through our platform. Especially, we are targeting agencies with around 5 to 50 employees. Now, why is segment? Why this segment? Because these agencies are in the most painful middle ground. They are large enough to face operational chaos, but still too small to afford enterprise level digital systems. So every day they deal with manual printings, constant PDF editing, document confusions, and customer complaints. Our second customer is the traveler. The traveler uses the GoGo's mobile app completely free. Inside one app, they get hotel bookings, flight details, traveler vouchers, and live updates. So the agencies pay, the traveler get benefits, and together they create our growth engine. That is our head, page head market. That is our focus, strategic focus. Customer profile and market size. Now, MIT also teaches something very powerful. Startups do not win because of technology alone. They win because they understand customer pain better than everyone else. So let me introduce you to two real world personas behind GoGoose. First, Lem. Lem is 35 years old, a frequent business traveler more than 10 times every year. Now, what is Lem's reality? Lost boarding passes, hotel confirmation buried inside emails, and during international travelers, sometimes no internet access at all. Travel is already stressful. Bad information management make it worse. So what lab actually want? Not complexity, not another platform. He want simplicity. One app, everything centralized, offline accessibility and accessibility. He also cares about sustainability and carbon footprint awareness. Now let's look at Sophia. Sophia is 42 years old and runs a small travel agency in Barcelona with 12 employees. Her biggest problem, operational inefficiency. She spends nearly 15 hours every single week just printing documents, editing and resending PDFs to customers. That is not smart travel management. That is administrative overload. And despite all the effort, customers still lose documents, miss updates, and become frustrated. Sophia goals are clear: reduce cost, improve customer experience, and move toward a greener digital business. Now, here is the key. MIT says the strongest Startups exist at the intersection of three things: a painful problem, a reachable customers, and a scalable solution. And that is exactly where GoGoose stand. What can we do for our customer? So now the questions become, what value are we actually creating? Because customers do not buy features, they buy outcomes. For travelers like Lem, GoGo's creates reliability and peace of mind. Everything exists inside one centralized application: trip, hotel bookings, flight details, traveler vouchers, and one of the most important feature, offline access, because during travel internet connectivity is not always reliable. Whether someone is traveling internationally, in remote areas, or inside airports with weak internet, the travel information still remains accessible. In addition, receive real-time push notification for updates and schedule changes. And finally, they are track their personal carbon footprint, bringing sustainability directly into the travel experience. Now, for agencies like Sophia, the impact becomes even more powerful financially. GoGo's can reduce printing cost by almost 90%. It eliminates repetitive manual work, no more continuous editing and resending PDFs. One update from the agency instantly reaches every traveler, and on the top of that, GoGo's generates EcoScore reports that agencies can use for sustainability, branding, and ESG reporting. So this is much bigger than just a travel application. GoGo's is a digital transformation platform for the modern traveler industry. Full life cycle use case. MIT emphasizes one more critical concept: understanding the entire customer journey, not just the product itself. So let's walk through the GoGo's experience across the full life cycle. Before the trip, the agency uploads all travel informations: hotels, flights, transport, vouchers, everything. The traveler immediately receives it inside the app and downloads the offline package before departure. No paperwork, no printing, no confusion. Now, during the trip, this is where real-time communication becomes critical. Flight get delayed, hotels change, schedule shift unexpectedly. Additionally, this creates chaos. Phone calls, emails, last minute document changes, but with Google, the agency update the information once and every traveler instantly receive push notification. Even without internet, the offline packages will still works. And finally, after the trip, Google generate an EcoScore report. The traveler can actually see the environmental impact they saved through digital travel management. For example, you save 3 kilometers of carbon dioxide compared to the paper based travel documentation. At the same time, agencies receive sustainability data they can use for marketing, branding, and ESG report. So Googles create value before the trip, during the trip, and after the trip. That is not just a feature. This is continuous value creation. So at this point, we have identified the customer, understood the pain points, and show how Googles delivers value across the entire travel lifecycle.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Ahmed Aziz, and today I will be presenting GoGoose, a SaaS solution transforming how travel agency operate and grow. In this presentation, I will focus on two fundamental questions that drive any successful business model. First, how does our customer acquire GoGoose? Second, how do we make money? Through this lens, I will walk you through GoGoose acquisition process, our most effective channel, our core revenue model, and the unit economics that make our business scalable and sustainable. Let's get started. Now, let's answer our first question: how does a customer actually acquire GoGoose? According to MIT Discipline Entrepreneurship Framework, after discussing acquisition, we first identify the decision making unit, which means the actual people involved in purchasing decision. In GoGoose business model, travelers are simply end user because they use the mobile app during their trip, but they are not paying for the platform. The real customers are travel agency owners, operation managers, and travel network executive because they control budget and make software purchasing decision. These agencies usually start looking for solution when operational pain becomes too costly. For example, they spend money on printing level document, employee waste time, spend money on printing level documents, employee waste time, and preparing files. And sometimes important travel documents get lost, which create customer dissatisfaction. At this point, they discover GoGoose through multiple acquisition channels such as industry referrals, strategic partnership, travel exhibition, travel agency network, and direct website inquiries. Once a potential customer shows interest, GoGoose offer a product demo. A product demo is basically a live presentation where the company show how the software solves the agency operational problem. During this stage, agencies clearly see benefit like reduced printing cost, faster operations, and better customer experience. After seeing the value, they purchase a subscription and onboard their staff. This creates what we call a high intent acquisition funnel, which means customer earning the funnel are already aware of their problem and are much more likely to convert into like paying customers. Now, if we go deeper, not every acquisition channel perform equally well. That's why business create an acquisition channel hierarchy, which means ranking customer acquisition channel based on how effective and scalable they are. Our strongest channel is direct purchase, direct product demos, because these leads are already interested and close to making a purchase decision. Second, strategic partnerships are highly powerful. Strategic partnership means collaborating with the large travel network organization that can introduce GoGoose to multiple agencies at once. This allow faster scaling because instead of selling one customer at a time, the company can acquire many customers through a partnership. Third, referral marketing. Referral marketing plays an important role. This happens when existing satisfied agencies recommend GoGoose to some other agencies. Referral customers are usually cheaper to acquire because trust already exists. Lastly, SEO, digital marketing, and PR help generate awareness. PR means public relation, like building brand awareness through media coverage and industry publication. This multi-channel acquisition strategy help GoGoose scale efficiently while controlling customer acquisition cost. Now let's move toward our second major question: how does GoGoose make money? GoGoose primarily follow a software as a service subscription model, which means customers do not buy the software permanently. Instead, they pay a recurring subscription fee to continuously access the platform. Travel agencies subscribe to different pricing plans such as essential, standard, and plus, and enterprise depending on their business size and required features. This creates recurring revenue, which means the company earn predictable income every month or year. As agencies grow, GoGoose can generate additional revenue through upselling. Upselling means encouraging existing customer to move toward higher priced package with more advanced feature. Besides subscription, GoGoose also earns secondary revenue through strategic partnerships such as travel insurance service, SIM card partnership, and airport service commissions. This is called revenue diversification, meaning the company does not depend on only one income source. That make the business model such much more stable. In now gathering now generating revenue alone is not enough. Companies also need profitability. That's where unit economic becomes important. Unit economics means understanding how profitable one customer is for the business. For example, businesses compare how much it costs to acquire one customer versus how much revenue that customer generate over time. GoGoose benefit from low marginal cost because software product can serve additional customer without major additional expenses. Customer retention is also expected to remain strong. Customer retention simply means keeping customer for long period. Once agencies like uh, once agency fully integrate GoGoose into their workflow, switching to another platform becomes difficult. This increase customer lifetime value, which means total revenue earned from one customer during their entire relationship with the company.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehboob Rashid. I am the fourth presenter from our group. In this final part of our presentation, I will explain two very important questions. First, how do we design and build Gagos? Second, how do we scale our business? Let's me begin with the first questions. How do we design and build Gagos? Our entire development process is driven by customer pain points. We do not build features just because they sound cool. We build features because our customers need them. We follow two key steps from the discipline entrepreneurship framework. First, minimal viable product. This means we build only what is absolutely necessary to solve the core problem. Product specifications. This means we define exactly what the product will do before writing any code. What was our minimal visible viable product? We asked ourselves what is the single biggest pain points for travel agencies and travelers. This means this answer was clear: paper documents and no offline access. So our minimal viable focused on only one thing: document sharing with offline access, nothing else. We left our EcoScore, we left our group management, we left our advanced analytics, we left out all other features. Why did we do that? Because we want to validate the core value proposition first. This is the disciplined way. Many startups fail because they build too many features before knowing if anyone actually want the product. We did the opposite. Real agency validation. We did not build in isolation. We went out and found five real travel agencies in Barcelona. These were real businesses with real clients and real pain. We gave them our minimal viable product. We wanted how they use it. He sat with them and collect their feedback. What did they like? What was they confusing? And what was missing? Based on that feedback, we made improvements before adding any advanced feature. This is called customer discovery and it is the heart of step 9. Our core functional team. To build Gagos, we assembled a cross-functional team of three types of people. First, travel experts. They are people who understand how travel agencies work, what document they need, and how travelers behave. Second, UI UX designer. They are people who make the app's initiative beautiful and easy to use even if a non-technical user. Third, software developers. There are people who write the code and build the technology. Each group bring a different perspectives. Together they ensure that product work well, look good and solve real problem. Scaling future after validation. Only after the core minimal viable product was proven did we add EcoScore and group management. Why? Because those features are valuable, but they are not essential for the first version. So our roadmap was follow. Firstly, we build the minimal viable product, document sharing and offline access. Second, test with five agencies and collect feedback. Third, improve minimal viable product based on feedback. Fourth, add EcoScore, group management, and add APIs features. This is the disciplined way to build startup, validate fast, and then scale future. That cover how we design and build. Now let move to second question, which is even more important. How do we scale Gagos? Scaling means growing the business without breaking it. It means going from 10 customer to 1000 customer and then 10,000 customer. We follow step 18 to 28 disciplined entrepreneurship. This step cover scaling. through partnerships, processes, hirings, and system. We have the three phases scaling strategy. Let me explain each phase in detail. Phase 1, look Europe. First, our first phase is to dominate the Europe market. We will start with Spain and Italy because our initial validation was in Barcelona. Then we expand to France and Germany, the large traveler market in Europe. How do we grow? Through the network effect. Every agency we onboard bring hundreds of travelers. Those travelers thoughts our ambassador program, recommend GoGoose to other agencies. Then those new agencies bring more travelers. This create a viral loop. Growth compounds automatically. By the end of the year, we aim to have 1,200 agencies and cover 50,000 travelers using GoGoose. But scaling is not just about numbers. We also need to scale our operations. We will automate agency onboarding with self-service tools. No salesperson is needed for small agencies. We will build a customer success team to support agencies. We will standardize our process so we can replicate success across countries. Phase 2, go global. Once we have a strong foothold in Europe, we expand to three new regions. First, Middle East, UAE, Saudi Arabia because of high volume of business travelers. Second, North America, USA and Canada, which is the largest traveler market in the world. Third, Asia Pacific, Singapore, India, and Australia, which are the fast growing traveler economies. In each region, we will localize the app. We will translate it into local languages. We will integrate with regional traveler suppliers like airlines, hotels, and visa services. And we will hire local sales teams. Why can do this? Because our product is software, not a physical product. Once we built the platform, adding a new country cost very little. This is the power of the innovation driven enterprise. By the end of that 3 years, we aim 5,000 agencies and 80,000 travelers. Phase 3, become the standard. In the final phase, we want GoGoose to become a standard industry for traveler documentation. Think of it like Microsoft Word for documents or Zoom for video calls. We want GoGoose to be a standard for travel documents. How will we do this? Because by integrating directly with airlines, hotels, global booking platforms like Expedia, Booking.coms, Amazon. This when a hotel use GoGo's, every travel agency connect to that hotel automatically gets the benefit. When an airline use GoGo's, every traveler on that airline can access their documents through our app even if their travel agencies is not yet a customer. This create a platform ecosystem, not just a product. And ecosystem are very hard to compete against. At this stage, we will also build APIs integration for large traveler management companies and corporate traveler desks. As I always say, and this is on our side, every agency we onboarding their entire traveler base, growth compounds automatically. This is the magic of our B2B and B2C model. We do not need to acquire travelers on by one. By the come for free with every agency. Scaling our team and process. In first, we need to scale our internal team, then founders and two developers. The next, we add sales, sports and marketing. And the third phase, we have full department for engineering, product sales, customer success, and partnerships. We will also build strategic partnerships with traveler associations like ECTAA in Europe and ASTA in America. These partnerships give us a credibility and access to hundreds of agencies at once. And finally, we will scale our progress, automated billings, self-serves, onboarding, standardized training for agency staff, and knowledge-based common questions. Thank you, all of you, time and attention.